Welcome back to the Milwaukee Market Update. We're covering real estate news and data and breaking it down to help you understand how it impacts your real estate decisions. Teaser, mixed signals are causing confusion for buyers and sellers. Dick and I, we'll get you some answers.
We'll get it all straightened out here.
Yeah.
What to take away this episode? Inventory is up 20%. Should you be nervous about the Milwaukee housing market?
Crash?
I don't know. How do some of our most desirable markets compare to the greater Milwaukee area stats? And once again, does Ty know his neighborhoods? We're in for a treat this one here.
I think you're going to be throwing me for a loop this episode, but I guess we'll see. We're here to give you the info you need to make the right decisions regarding your real estate. Should I buy a home now? Should I be selling? Is the housing market about to crash? Are the headlines I'm reading, content I'm seeing on social media true or even relevant to me? If you're new to the show, return because you found value in our previous videos and episodes. It would mean the world to us if you could take a second to subscribe, follow us on your favorite podcast listening service. You can follow both of us or reach out on Instagram, Horizon Homes MKE, or on our website, homewithhorizon.com. I'm Ty.
I'm Nick.
With Compass, your local real estate experts.
All right, well, welcome back, Ty, to the Milwaukee Market Update here. You've been out in Denver the last couple of days. I think
Yes.
you got some jet lag going, maybe?
A little bit, it was a little bit of a late night last night, maybe a couple nights before that too.
Okay. Well,
but energized, nothing like meeting with some of the best agents in the country to get yourself like ready to go and come out with a couple ideas, some business energy.
Yeah.
Especially here in Q2 when it's it's a grind. So
it is.
Ready to keep on grinding.
Yeah. Well, welcome back. Ty was at the Compass Retreat, the annual event that Compass puts on together, invites all the agents across the U.S. It was in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like you had a good time. You
Great
told
time.
me
Got to hang out with the Madison guys, just down the road, Airbnb, just good times
Sounds
overall.
like a great time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, welcome back to Milwaukee, man.
Yeah.
And
happy to be here.
Apparently, there's some mixed signals.
I leave
in the
for
Milwaukee
3
housing
days.
market.
I leave for 3 days, and now there's mixed signals.
You missed a lot, man. You have missed a lot. So tell us about this. We got an article from TMJ4,
Mm-hmm.
and what's it saying here?
Mixed signals, insights for buyers and sellers from some local agents here in the market, and specifically, they recorded here in Wauwatosa. We know Wauwatosa is a little bit crazy, but essentially the very first stat that they dive into here is that home sales in Milwaukee and across the state were down more than 9% in April. So that's just 1 month year over year. We're seeing sales are down. And then obviously you have some ads, then several, clicks down the page. However, at the same time, home prices are actually going up 6% year over year, which is much faster than the typical appreciation rate. And a quick summary here is houses are going quick. Buyers are making competitive offers, sometimes bidding over the listing price, but sometimes they still don't get the home. So home sales are down, but sometimes buyers aren't getting the home when they write an offer. Those are the mixed signals that they're trying to communicate here.
Gotcha. So to summarize, essentially it says home sales down, prices are up, and then anecdotally buyers are losing out.
Yeah.
And anecdotally homes are moving quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair summary to what has happened since you've been gone in Denver. It kind of has been, and you were gone for 3 days.
Yeah.
But I think it's kind of been status quo for the year. So when they say mixed signals, then what are the mixed signals that they're maybe referring to here?
I think the mixed signals are the first few months of the year, the actual home sales, the transactions that close were going down, and now we're seeing a bounce back, but we're also seeing the prices change. So again, I would say this article kind of extrapolates some of those confusion things. When people say home sales are down, your first thing that you think about is price, but that's not the case.
Yeah, I think so too.
And it's just the way that a lot of these stories get spun that actually cause the confusion and the mixed signals of the market is, well, I just read something that the housing market's down.
So, fact hype meter.
Yeah.
Headline alone. Are we calling this a fact or a hype? Where are we going here?
I would say it probably is mixed signals because a lot of the news people get is at the national level. So yeah, I just came back from the national conference, and I would say we are very far and away an outlier of markets as you look across the country, which we've talked about in pretty much every single episode.
Cool. So we like this article.
Yeah, we like this article from Milwaukee. Yeah.
I think the article is actually pretty accurate with everything it has to say, and I do think there are some mixed signals out there. And let's kind of talk about that, because I've pulled, is there anything else you want to mention in this article?
No, let's dive into the real data, not just like two things off the spreadsheet of, telling a story for a news article thing. Like, let's dive right in.
Yeah, so it's June 6th when we're recording this. So we've got the full month of May data that we're looking at here.
Yep.
And historically, Q2, spring market, we see a lot more listings. We see prices go up this time. We see a lot of competition out there. It's kind of the peak of the market, if you will. June is historically the crazy time of the year. And so a couple things that we're seeing. This is Milwaukee, Ozaukee, Waukesha County. So kind of the three counties where we do most of our business, and I would say where most transactions happen in the greater Milwaukee area.
Yep.
New listings up 5%. So we're seeing new listings happen. Pending sales, so homes that are under contract, down 12%. Closed sales down about 4%. So we're seeing, to kind of summarize this, we're seeing newness hitting the market, more newness.
Yeah.
We're seeing fewer things go under contract. Therefore, we're seeing fewer things closed. And I think that's more or less maybe some of those mixed signals, because there's fewer things going under contract, fewer homes going for sale, fewer homes closing. The big stat that I'm tracking right now is inventory of homes for sale. This is up 15% compared to last year. So if we just look at the number of homes listed for sale right now, 15% more than last year.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this, man.
Yeah, I mean, my first reaction right after that is I want to dive under the covers. And see like what's it going, where is the inventory coming from? And I know obviously we've got additional pages information to deep dive into specifically inventory. The first thing I think about is like, where is that located? And then also over time, yes, we're comparing it to last year, but we've been doing this show for quite a while now. And we know that last year, new listing activity, and the year before that, new listing activity was down considerably. So like, what does that look like compared to a normal market? Not just last year's market.
Yeah.
That's my very first reaction, is wanting to dive into it a little bit deeper.
What would you find?
Well, what we find is, if you go back to like 2020, so right now we have about 2,500 homes available for sale in this 3-county area. If you go back to 2020, coming kind of middle of the year, this time of the year, we had about 4,000 homes listed. So a considerable difference. I mean, that's not quite double, but pretty close to like the amount of options available for buyers out there. And even before that, back in 2018, 2 years even before we had, that pre-pandemic, right? That's kind of a line in the sand for us. It was like 4,500 homes. So 2,000 less options out there for clients across this area that we serve.
Yeah, okay. And so I think that's a great way to think about this, because we see 15% more homes for sale. We've been in a market the last 4 years where it's been one of the most aggressive sellers markets, maybe of all time for Milwaukee, I don't know. And we still have almost half the inventory that we had in more of a balanced market when we had more supply.
And I love this, like comparing inventory at these different at the exact same time of the year across different years, because my favorite stat, months of supply of inventory, we're actually going down month over month. We started out January 2.6 months, then 2.5, 2.1. We're now at 1.9 months of supply. And what we always cover is right around 4 months is where things get balanced. So if we doubled inventory, right, from our 2,500 to 5,000 homes, we would be back into a more balanced market where home prices still go up. That's like what 2018 was like. We could literally double inventory overnight. And yes, you wouldn't see the 7 days on the market maybe as much. There'd be the best homes going quickly, but we'd start looking like other markets across the country where 30 days on the market isn't atypical for the typical home. Yeah,
I agree. And with all these things too, we're still seeing median sales price of 4%, average sales price of 3%. Days on market is flat compared to last year at 20 to 20.
Yeah.
Months of supply is up 0.3 months, which how much is 0.3 months? Is that?
It's a lot. It's that 20%.
Is that like 2 extra weeks, 3 extra weeks?
Yeah.
So I mean, we have like 2 to 3 extra weeks of inventory. So I think it's really important to, we talk about this every single week. Know your specific market, because the mixed signals, I think, can create confusion for people out there. Also, when you're coupling that with national headlines, where in our team meeting last Tuesday, I pulled 3 headlines one from Redfin, one from the Associated Press, and one from just a random website that I saw, and I just typed in U.S. housing market, and these were the first 3 articles. One of them said there's 400,000 more sellers than buyers. There's the most amount of the difference between sellers and buyers is one of the biggest in the history of the U.S. So everyone sees this article and goes, it's got to be easy for me to now go and search and find a home, and I could probably write lowball offers. I don't need to be competitive.
Yeah.
But then you look at the Milwaukee data here, and we're not there. We are not there. We're maybe trending to become more of a balanced market, maybe just looking at the inventory, but we're at 60% the inventory of what we were in 2018 when we were balanced. So we still have ways to go.
A lot of space. And let's do like one last deep dive. And I think this really helps for those listening of like, okay, great. You guys always talk about like, you got to know your specific market. And that's like not just looking at national, let's dive into the Milwaukee greater area, but like, let's look at the price point in case this is important to you of what is the inventory increase year over year by price range. So we've got essentially all these different ranges. I'm going to start at like where we start seeing a good amount of inventory. So from 100,000 to 200,000, we're essentially flat year over year.
Price wise?
Amount of inventory year over year.
Cool.
200 to 300,000, up 22%. 300 to 500,000, this is the median price point of Milwaukee range, up 13%. $500 to $700,000, up 10%. So this kind of middle point, right? There's more inventory, but again, we know that it's very much suppressed from 2020, 2018, some of these previous years. And where we're really seeing an uptick here is in the $700,000 to $1 million price range, up 46%. 1 million to 3 million, up 40%. And in terms of like quantity, that is about 20% of our inventory is up 40%. And that's a price point that is very much impacted by interest rates and affordability. And also just recent changes with tariffs, stock market portfolios going down. When you're buying, $1 million to $3 million properties, you're probably going to press pause on some bigger purchases like that until you get more certainty.
Very interesting. So the areas that we're seeing the biggest spread, if you will, of the discrepancy of inventory is that 700 and up price point.
That's correct. Yeah, up 46% and up 40%. And that's a considerable increase. And that's also where we see probably consistently more higher days on market. There's just a smaller buyer pool. So, and I think this is actually a good way, like within our own market, you can see what other markets might be experiencing, like our favorites like Austin and Florida markets, Texas in general. Getting 40% more inventory versus a year ago because of these $1 million price points, versus we have that affordability relative to the rest of the country that, our inventory is like up, but it's from like, up 10% versus last year of having almost nothing. And that's why we look at months of supply, because inventory just doesn't tell the full story. Because the demand is there, especially in these sub $700,000 price points.
So I love all that, and I think that creates some great perspective to where we're seeing this inventory spread. The data that I was talking about earlier was just looking at the 3 main counties. What I did is I pulled the same stats for West Dallas, Wauwatosa, Brookfield, Cedarburg.
Okay.
Kind of like a hodgepodge area, but areas that we see are competitive, and a lot of buyers want to be in these locations.
And define competitive in today, June 2025.
Low days on market, aggressive offers, several offers.
Perfect.
And so we're seeing similar trends with those, where new listings are up, pending sales are down, closed sales are down, inventory of homes for sale is up. But I think the main thing, days on market, 19 last year, 15 this year. Months of supply, 1.2 last year, 1.8 this year.
This is one consolidated, all those markets combined together, not individually.
And so, and then the percent of original list price received, 104% last year, 103.6 this year. So to me, the good homes in this area, they're moving quicker, 15 days versus 19 last year. They're still on average about 3 to 4% going over asking that close, and we still have less than 2 months of supply in these areas.
1.2 months, right?
1.8. This
1.8.
1.8.
Okay,
So
slightly below. Okay, 1.8 months.
So we have a half a month more of inventory now in these areas. But like the main takeaway here is it's still competitive. It is still very competitive for buyers in the greater Milwaukee area and in these areas too, where if you're only reading the headlines nationally of what's happening or mixed signals, it's not doing you justice to actually be educated to make a right decision.
What do you get ourselves in one of these news articles and only talk about months of supply? One stat that matters.
Months of supply.
Months of supply.
Months of supply, days on market, and percent over list price received. Because I think the percent over list price received doesn't get enough attention, honestly, because to me, that is an indicator of the demand. Because sellers always want to sell their house for the most price. And a seller is always going to be like, they're always pushing price, in my opinion. You know, they're always like, an agent says, hey, it's worth $350. They're going to go, let's just list it at $375 and see what happens. And, you know, we have this discussion with clients all the time. In this market, one of the biggest risks is overpricing your home because you don't get the eyeballs, you don't get the attention, you don't get that bidding war.
And buyers are super critical of something that lasts 7 days.
They are. It's stale bread, man. No one wants stale bread.
Which is insane.
But the fact that homes are selling over list price, that to me means buyers are willing to go above what sellers are pricing it for, which that is to me a demand metric. That's not a seller's being greedy. That's a buyer's being like, I want this and I need this and I have to do this because otherwise I'm not going to get the home.
Yep.
So that's to me a very key stat that shows the demand that we have in these areas.
And this is one thing I want to touch on very quickly in terms of this percent over list price received is, does that mean for your clients every single offer that you write is 3.5% over and then you're going to win?
I wish. I wish it was that simple.
Dive into that a little bit for me. Like, you know, break into the, like, why is that not the case? Why can't I just go to every house and just go slightly above the average percent over list price?
This is where the art of the home comes into play. I wish it was that simple. Because I have clients ask me that all the time, and we can pull these stats and show them, hey, typically things go here. But again, the same thing that I say to all my clients, the offer that we write, the strength of that offer comes down to how much you like the home, number one.
Love the home.
Love the home.
Love the home.
Love it, you need it, gotta have it, and then the competition.
Yeah.
Those two, and then also how well is the home priced, but let's just assume it's priced
Where
correct.
it's priced. Yeah.
Yes. And so those two things, how much you want it and competition, drastically change the offers that we write. And I mean, we're typically not writing offers on homes that clients don't love anyways, but most often if a client loves a home, that means a lot of people like the home, that means they're in competition.
Yeah, because, sellers and listing agents, they always price it at what it's worth, right?
I wish. It would make, if things went 3.6% over every single time and every home was priced perfectly, it would make buying a home a lot simpler. Yeah. But no,
my favorite thing of like this year and we've been in this market for so many years now is shopping for a home is not like shopping for groceries. For groceries, there's a list price and you go look at it and you buy it. And that's because they've got good inventory levels. They're always well stocked, good displays, everything else. You go through, you get everything you need, and then you leave.
You can even pick what tomato you want too.
Yeah, but when there's one thing of eggs, all of a sudden there's a bidding war on eggs, but not necessarily bidding war. It's the market. Mm-hmm. The actual grocery store says, yeah, I think egg prices are now up 100%, and that's a supply and demand exactly the same here. But you actually get to go just see what the sticker price is. You do not actually have a legit sticker price in real estate. It comes down to the market value, not the marketing value.
Yep. Yeah, and a lot of times we see homes, we talk about this all the time, and I think it's so important to touch on with both buyers and sellers, because the homes in this market that have that sexy marketing price, that $299, $399, where it's intentionally underpriced, called by $5K. That's where you get all of the offers, all of the attractiveness, all the attention. The homes that are overpriced 10, 20, 30K, expecting for someone to come in to write a lowball offer, buyers are trained in this market that if they're not writing at list price the first weekend,
they might as not go.
They might as well not write it.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest disservice as a seller that you can do, is overpricing your home in this market and not going for that marketing price.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what do we got next year after this big picture?
I think it's time to play a little game.
Oh.
What do you think? We didn't do one last week.
I need a game right now. Yeah, my stat brain is not at
Too
peak
much.
levels.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. We're gonna play a game here. So we did this before. I'm gonna read some descriptions of different neighborhoods in Milwaukee greater area that ChatGPT put together, and I want you to guess what these are. Okay?
You up the ante a little bit?
I think 3 of these should be softballs.
Okay.
One I think is gonna be a little bit tricky because I don't
Okay.
think you do a lot of business in this area, so I think it's gonna be a little bit. Yet. Excuse me. All right, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, neighborhood number 1. You should know this right away. This area balances its artsy, gritty charm with a strong sense of community. You're just as likely to see someone biking to a co-op as you are someone walking to a punk show. Old duplexes, community gardens, backyard chickens are all part of the landscape. It borders
River West?
Yeah.
Easy.
The next line, it borders the river and has a reputation for being proudly weird. I think it's a great description of River West.
Absolutely.
I love
ChatGPT knows what it's talking
the
about.
charm of River West. The sense of community in River West is exceptional.
I thought the next line you're going to say, it's a community west of the river.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop myself
Yeah.
if that was in here. All right, good. 1 for 1 so far.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I was a
Number
little
2?
nervous for first sentence or two. I'm like,
Artsy, gritty charm.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, number 2, you ready?
let's do it.
Area has a distinctly mid-century suburban vibe, known for its excellent schools and family-friendly atmosphere. A lot of split-level homes, big yards, cul-de-sacs. It's where people go when they're ready to trade in downtown living for Target runs and space to stretch out.
I think I'm going to go Fox Point.
No.
Oh,
That's a good guess.
Brookfield.
No. This is a hard one.
Okay, this is the hard one?
This is a hard one, yeah. It's south of the interstate.
Wait, which one?
Like,
My next one I would say would be Franklin.
no, Greenfield.
Greenfield.
Yeah,
Right.
which I've got clients looking in Greenfield right now. There are a lot of mid-centuries out there.
Yeah.
I definitely would agree with this. I think the hard part here, though, is you've got a lot of communities that kind of fit this sort of feel.
Yeah.
Um,
All the ones I mentioned.
Yeah. Okay, so you're 50% right now. You're failing.
Okay. Yeah.
Number 3, you ready?
Yeah.
Compact village, hugs the lake, feels like a slice of the East Coast. Locals love walking to independent bookstores, coffee shops, and a beloved old school movie theater. It's dense, bikeable, filled with character-rich homes from the early 20th century, a top pick for people who want suburb perks without giving up city life.
Man, this one's kind of tough too. I know exactly the radius. It's somewhere between the Upper East Side and Whitefish Bay. Yes? I want to say Whitefish Bay, but it could also be up. I'm going to go Whitefish Bay.
What's your gut tell you? I feel like that's not what your gut is telling you.
So I thought Whitefish Bay, but that old movie theater, which was great, and the walkability, the bookstores, everything else, that movie theater is no longer there. Now it's one of the Bay Shores. So I guess let's go Upper East Side.
Shorewood.
Shorewood.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there is a movie theater in Shorewood.
I figured bikeable, because isn't your dream to bike to all your showings in Shorewood?
Yeah, for sure. So you just jumped me on my own home.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's no movie theater.
We'll look into
It's
that.
on the Upper East Side.
Yeah, the Oriental.
ChatGPT is confused.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool movie theater, the Oriental.
Well, there's also the one on Downer as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one.
No,
No?
that's Farwell.
Farwell.
Yeah.
You're right.
Two really good ones.
Yeah, both great.
All right,
Okay,
ChatGPT. Always
so-
gotta trust but verify.
All right, you gotta reel this in for a 50% here, okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Number 4, Lakeside community is known for its postcard perfect homes and manicured lawns. It's perfect for people who want suburban calm but with prestige. Often ranked one of the wealthiest areas in the state. Don't be surprised if your neighbors are CEOs or pro athletes. This is a hard one too.
You said along the lake.
Along the lake.
Okay. I'm gonna go Bayside. Close?
A little bit further south.
A little further south.
You said this one before.
Fox Point.
No.
Whitefish Bay.
Postcard perfect homes. Yeah, Whitefish Bay.
All right.
So, hey, you know what?
This is a tough day.
Tough day, yeah.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of time in Denver. You know, you went 1 for 4. So
Apparently, there's not that much that separates, Shorewood from Whitefish Bay from the other places. You know, they're all so uniquely different, but all provide about the same at the end of the day. At least from a ChatGPT.
Yeah, ChatGPT. We'll put this on Chat's fault here.
Yeah.
That wasn't on you.
Yeah, right. Well, that's awesome. But, with that, if you found value in today's episode, obviously, make sure you keep following along, hit that subscribe button. Otherwise, we'll see you next week with the Milwaukee Real Estate Market Update.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, that was a tough look.
That's okay.
So quick check on the camera. Yeah, we're good. Man, that was a tough look, dude. Can just throw that reel in the trash. What's up? Teaser. Welcome back to Milwaukee Market Update. And guess what? Trump is on the.
Trump flew on the Lolita.
What do you want our guess what to be? I got everything else
It
done.
is Trump, a reptile person. And guess what? The housing market is showing, and apparently, the housing market is showing mixed signals.
I have that in the teaser. Mixed signals are causing confusion for buyers and sellers.
Or are they?
Well, Nick and I will get you some answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No mixed signals after this episode.
Yeah.
None. Mixed signals, like my girlfriend.
All right, what is it?
And guess what? I don't know. What do we normally do? Guess what?
Yeah, that was your thing. That was your whatever it's called, podcast you like listening to. That's our new bit.
Okay. And guess what? Parking is getting way harder. Just say that again.
To say it again. And guess what?
Just get rid of it.
It's out.
Yeah.
All right. Ready?
What am I doing? What are you doing?
Same.
So I'm doing the Nick stuff.
Yeah, you're doing the next stuff.
Okay, cool.
Ready to go?
Let me hit record here.
Oh, you're not even recording?
Now we are.
I was recording the whole time.
Well, I paused it.
Ah,